kids. So they had several transfers from another school. So we knew we didn't really know exactly what it would be like. We knew that they would have some length and some athletic ability. So it was good to get back in the gym, though. So I was pleased with our kids and the way they played, had great effort, and moved the ball well.
Yeah, for sure. As you look on further in the season, especially to our games coming up, how do you feel that games like that help us to grow throughout the year?
Well, we always try to really put a very quality front end of our schedule. Going into it, we were 3-2 tonight. We played a Westview team, state tournament team with a loss, and then a Southside team, another state tournament team. We're not as worried on the front end about winning games. We're really more geared to making sure that we're playing quality opponents, and that every game is challenging and going to try to play a little different style and some things, and we'll see that on Friday night. Our next game is Hutchinson out of Memphis. Got several D1 kids on that team. Tyler Jones, I think, is one that pops in my mind. I can't remember where she's going, but she's a really, really good guard, have a good post player. So it'll be challenging.
I know they're typically very good, so I'm excited to see that one. We keep going. I think this team's got a lot of potential. Of course, won state championship last year. Hope to build upon that this year, maybe win another one.
Well, you try not to jump to the end before it's time to get there, but you want to set yourself up and how you play your pre-district games and making sure that you kind of have all the things lined out and at least are prepared the way you're supposed to be. And then you really want to try to make that district lead up into a good regional tournament seed. And then once you do that, trying to make sure you're playing at home in a sub-state game. So, you don't want to worry about the very end. You kind of want to build. And that's kind of the plan, moving forward.
One game at a time is always a good way to look at it, I feel like. This team's very young, and I've always been very impressed by how, even though they're very youthful, they can pull out games and have good composure throughout. So can you speak a little bit to what coaching aspects make them that way, you think?
Well, when we're in practice, we'll do some stuff, so we try to build chemistry with the first group, you would say, and then have a second group and a third subs. But there's a lot of days where we just split squads and we go play, and the kids are competing against each other every day in practice. In our middle school, we have the same drills that we just transitioned through. So all that being said, middle school building into high school, we kind of throw our kids in the middle of it, and sometimes it doesn't look as pretty as you want it to, but they're getting used to playing against good competition. They're used to playing at the pace that we want to play. So a lot of times what you would consider a freshman, in our mind, we consider them a sophomore.
Yes, sir.
And vice versa, as you build up. We want kids to feel like they're accustomed to playing in those games before they actually are there, So when they walk into that, it's always a situation where they're not in a culture shock.
I feel like y'all have done a great job of building a program in that way. As you said, take it one game at a time, but the way we look tonight, hopefully it'll keep going well.
Yeah, we're always going to have bumps in the road. We played Southside, which is a really good team, well coached, very physical. That was a game where, we kind of all knew at the end of it, man, we weren't very good tonight, So, you want to take those things and you want to learn from those. Somebody had a saying the other day, don't lose, learn type deal. So you kind of want to build and don't want to be an ostrich and stick your head in the sand. You kind of get your kids to realize the positives out of a negative situation and get better. Now, if you take it and you don't get any better, then that is a negative situation. But to build on that and get better is the whole process.
Yeah. I've always heard L doesn't stand for loss, it stands for learn.
That's right. So, we had a good middle school group played tonight, and we we've had a really challenging middle school schedule too, and it's a hats off to those kids. They show up every day to practice. There's been games that have been really tough. Try to look at which teams you think year in and year out are going to send their school to the state tournament, and if at all possible, try to go play those teams.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're at and how we look at our schedule and what we want to do.
Middle school team got a big W tonight, didn't they?
They did.
That's good.
Played really well. Now, Rossville Christian's kind of a different deal because they're not in TWSAA. I think they actually played an association out of Mississippi.
Wow, really?
So yeah, they're right outside of Memphis, but they play in a different association out of Mississippi and play with a different set of rules. So they asked if we wanted to play both and kill two birds with one stone, play them on the same night. So that was easy, and we kind of went ahead and did that. But there've been a lot of challenging games for that middle school group. Been super proud of them too.
Yeah, building upon those things, I'd say, is definitely a big deal.
Got a big weekend this week. Hoop Fest is here. Anybody that's kind of doesn't have a lot going on will be games all day. We did have to change our schedule. There were some football state championship things that were going on. So I think we were going to play Houston later in the day. We're going to play Houston first game that morning at 11. And I think Westview is going to come in and play on that Saturday against Collierville, maybe in that 6:30 time slot. So it's out on the internet, the new adjusted schedule is. So it's kind of changed a little bit. We're going to play Friday night. I think there's 3 games in here Friday night, maybe 2 in the other gym. And I think basically it's from 11 that morning till later that evening.
Well, I'll be there, and anybody that loves basketball, make sure to be here this weekend for the Hoop Fest.
Well, thank you. Thanks for
thank you, Coach
having me
Joel.
up and talking. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we did. I think we're just rolling through, keeping it rolling.
All right, Bruins, we're back. 34 seconds left in halftime. Bruins are ahead 23-20.
Bruins will inbound the ball here.
Looks like I think Rich just had a great interview with the girls basketball coach, Joel Ayers. They didn't invite me. They can say I have a face for radio, so I didn't get any airtime. But anyway, nonetheless, we go back in. Bruins ball. Wallace Driver takes in the backcourt. Wallace Driver takes it into Mills Terry, gets a bit pass back over to Reed Finney. Corbin Howard up top. Over to Wallace Driver. Mills down low, over to Sam Kale. Looks like they're running some kind of a Kale with the shot. Needs to go back in for the rebound. Wallace Driver gets the rebound. Over to Corbin Howard.
Big rebound there by Wallace.
Yeah, I like to get the offensive rebound. Those are huge. Those definitely pay off in the long run. Wallace Driver gets a screen for Reed Finney. Should pull up. He does. Short. Nobody there for it. Gets boxed out. Rossville brings it up. 7 minutes left, third quarter. Corbin Howard on defense.